Hey, this is Peyton, and I'm ready to rant. And today I'm going to be ranting about a discussion that I've seen cropping up a lot recently in the community surrounding Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. And the only reason that I've even had time to really focus on the community like this is because even though my last rant was all about how great it is that we're getting this constant new stream of information regarding Nick All-Star Brawl, in the past couple days, the information really suddenly dried up. Like, just before I recorded this, we got a Moveset showcase for April O'Neil, but outside of that, news for Nick All-Star Brawl suddenly slowed down to a crawl, so it's been up to the community, basically, to keep the excitement for this game alive, which they've been doing pretty well. There's been a lot of talk still about this game going around on places like Twitter. But along with all of those discussions, I've seen one topic in particular start to pop up a lot, and it's been on my mind a lot lately. And that topic is Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl being labeled a smash killer. And when I say smash killer, just so we're all on the same page, this is mostly referring to the game from a competitive standpoint, where a lot of people feel that because of Nick All-Star Brawl's mechanics being as deep as they are, that this game is going to be so superior to Smash that once you play it, there will be no reason to go back to the Smash series after trying those mechanics for yourself. But before I continue, let me address the elephant in the room by saying that, yes, most of the people saying this are either joking around or just trying to get a reaction out of others. And what are you gonna do? It's the internet, that's how things go. But yeah, very few people probably believe this could be a thing. But for the small number of people out there that actually feel like Nick All-Star Brawl has an actual chance of killing off the Smash series, let me be the first to say that that just is never going to happen. There's a 0% chance of this occurring. Smash Ultimate is already the best-selling fighting game ever, and it earned that title back when it sold 20 million copies, and since then it's nearly at 25 million copies sold, which is insane. So killing Ultimate is kind of moot at this point, not only because you're just not going to. There's no way Nick All-Star Brawl will ever be able to match those sales numbers, but even if it could somehow, Ultimate is just about done anyways. They're releasing the final DLC character for Ultimate this year, and they already confirmed that it's not getting any more DLC characters after that. So Ultimate's wrapping up anyways, and its legacy has already been made, so yeah, not killing Ultimate. And it's obviously not going to kill the Smash series either. But you don't need me to tell you that, and that's not what this video is about. What this video is about is the thought process behind this sort of conversation, because, to put it shortly, more platform fighters is just better for every fan of the platform fighter genre. And this conversation really seems to misunderstand that, as simple as it may sound. I mean, look back at other bigger platform fighters we've seen in the past, like PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale and Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion. Yeah, it took me long enough to bring up Cartoon Network's answer to Nick All-Star Brawl in one of these videos, but I finally did it. But in all seriousness, both of those games, despite failing in the end, people did want to see them do well at the time. Like when they were new releases, there was excitement for both of those games, genuine excitement. Like people wanted to see what would become of those games, and sadly, for one reason or another, they both failed and fell off after time, went on. But the thing is that in the mindset of the community surrounding those games, the thought process was, hey, these are new games like Smash, sure, but let's give them a fair shake before we make a judgment call on them. And that is what happened with both of those games, even though they did flop. And that's important because it relates to what I brought up in my very first Ready to Rant on this game of why this genre does have the stigma it does of being nothing more than clones of the Super Smash Bros. Series, unfortunately. And that brings us back to the current conversation surrounding Nick All-Star Brawl. Because whereas the conversation surrounding games like PlayStation All-Stars and Punch Time Explosion were, hey, these games might be like Smash, but let's give them a fair shake and see what they're capable of, the conversation surrounding Nick All-Star Brawl is, I hope that this game kills off what came before it entirely. And that is just not a good conversation. That's not a healthy conversation, because calling Nick All-Star Brawl a Smash killer isn't going to hurt Smash Ultimate at all, but potentially this kind of talk could drive a wedge between the Nick All-Star Brawl and Smash Ultimate communities, which is extremely bad. At the size that the platform fighter community as a whole is at, the last thing we need is to have this sort of animosity between different games in the genre. It just doesn't make sense to have a genre as niche as the platform fighter and then make it even nicher by having it be like you have to like only one or another game in this genre. It's silly. And if all of this doesn't mean enough to you coming from me, one of the developers of Nick All-Star Brawl actually came out today in a tweet and said publicly that they don't like all of this talk of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl being labeled a Smash killer. I'll show that tweet on screen now. And all of this is just to say that what we really want to see is not these two communities, the fledgling Nick All-Star Brawl community and the very established Super Smash Bros. Community, going head to head like this. We don't want to make it like one of these games is better than the other, so now we need to have constant arguments about that. That is bad, and that's not going to help platform fighters grow. What's going to help more platform fighters appear and the genre as a whole to grow is having these two communities interact with each other and other platform fighter communities that already exist, like the Brawlhalla one and the Rivals of Aether one, and so on. And doing this will show outside developers, ones who've never even made platform fighters before, that more of these sorts of games are always welcomed by this platform fighter community, like as a whole. We want to give off the impression that your new game isn't going to have these grand expectations tossed on it out the gate of needing to beat everything that's come before it, but rather we're excited that you've even decided to develop a game in this genre. Like, that's fantastic, and we are fully supportive of that. So to start wrapping this video up, I just want to say that if you want my advice, you shouldn't engage with people spouting this sort of stuff in online discussions regarding Nick All-Star Brawl, because all that this sort of conversation is going to lead to eventually is these two communities butting heads. And if we want this genre to continue to grow and flourish, we don't want to feed into that sort of mentality. What we want to be showing these developers is that these games and more can coexist. There's more than enough room in the platform fighter genre for Super Smash Bros., Nick All-Star Brawl, and plenty more games like them. So let's act like it. We don't need to be, constantly pitting these games against each other just for the sake of seeing which game's going to come out on top. And quite frankly, if that were to actually happen, it's pretty clear which game's going to win. It's going to be the best-selling fighting game ever made. So let's not take it that route, because we don't need to take it there, and I don't really think we should want to as platform fighter fans. Instead, let's take it the route of showing interest and excitement in both of these games, because the differences in these games makes each of them worth playing. It doesn't make these games have to butt heads. But I think you get that by this point, so leave me a comment about what your take on all of this is. How do you feel about how the community discussion surrounding Nick All-Star Brawl is going, and what do you hope to see from this community once the game finally launches? Let me know your thoughts. This has been Peyton, and I'm done ranting.